Thanks very much, Mayor. I have a look through the minutes and I'm a little concerned that we had a rather long discussion around the history. And on page 261 of the minutes, it reports that Councillor Newport was noted for a discussion around population numbers. Then underneath it, it says, and then there was a discussion about other parts. I'd like it noted that Councillor Newport brought up the discussion about readjusting the history around the Americans who lived in Central Australia, and that is not recorded in the minutes. And I feel very aggrieved that that's not actually in there, because we discussed on the night that this issue will come up again when we go to do the 25-26 annual report. And I just feel that that needs to be adjusted to what actually happened on the night.
Councillor Ryan, can you please direct me to the item in the minutes just so I can review myself?
Item 19, page 260 of 380, when we spoke about the annual report, which we passed, and then it was sent on to the Minister. In that report of those minutes, it says Councillor Newport raised the issue around population census numbers, which the acting CEO took on notice. The next line says there was a discussion around what should be in the papers. I'm clearly stating that Councillor Newport tried to adjust our history in relation to the Americans who live in this town. That's what started the discussion.
I've just reviewed those minutes myself in the relevant section, and it says that there was general discussion that ensued around the content of the Our History page included in the annual report document. To go into that level of detail that you're proposing, there would be all manner of different perspectives that were expressed during that meeting that would be recorded. My understanding is that it was not a substantive matter that was determined by the elected members and that it was a loose discussion, a general discussion. So my view is that it is encapsulated by the minutes there.
Thanks, Mayor. My memory is quite different to yours. On the night, there was less discussion about the numbers, which is the line above, which is credited to Councillor Newport. There was a lot of discussion after Councillor Newport raised the issue that the Americans in our history should be changed in some way. And that created a lot of debate. And Deputy Mayor brought us back to the fact this was the last council's report and we'd be looking at that again in the next year. I would like it recorded so when this discussion comes up next year, it's not new to the fact. I've had a lot of Americans ask me what is wrong with them living in this town after hearing about this story on the ABC. So I'm just very concerned that our minutes don't record what happened that night.
Just taking a step back, because there are a couple of topics kind of being conflated here. So the first matter in relation to inconsistencies in the annual report, that was a matter that actually needed to be rectified in the annual report, and that's why there is a clear minute of that discussion. Whereas the ensuing general discussion had no action arising from it, and so what is recorded is more limited. I don't really have a firm view. These are pretty, it's an ordinary level of detail in minutes for a matter that had no action arising or determination made, in my view. I don't propose that these minutes need to be amended accordingly, because I don't think that they are misleading or that they are omitting important information that needed to be actioned. And I suppose I would propose that if you would like for a discussion to occur or for a decision to be made on that particular topic, then that can be instituted in future meetings and actions be taken accordingly. But this was a general discussion in relation to an annual report where there was no action taken at the end of it.
Thanks, Mayor. I understand where you stand and you don't support the Americans in our town. Thank you.
That's a complete misrepresentation of what I have said right now, and I'd ask you to withdraw that. I've not suggested that at any point.
No, but you won't take up the issue that Councillor Newport named the Americans. Nobody else named the Americans. So I'll take away the other point, but I'll make it very clear now that was a very low blow from a new councillor about trying to rewrite our history.
I'm not going to go in circles. I would consider that to be a misrepresentation of what was specifically said at that meeting, but I would like to move on from this, and I don't appreciate the comment that's been made at me.